días a todos. Es un gran placer estar aquí en tu ciudad maravilloso. And now I'm going to swap to English, otherwise this will be a very long 40 minutes. So, let me see if I can get these slides working. Right, so my name is Victoria and I am the founder and CEO of a company called Wildfire. We're a social media market effect that we've powered over 70,000 campaigns via our technology. Means that we've really learned a thing or two about what it takes to be successful with social media marketing, and particularly with Facebook marketing. So what I wanted to do for you today is share some of the things that we've learned along the way. There's definitely not time for me to share all of our learnings, but I wanted to share some of the major things that we've learned in the process of running so many campaigns for so many different businesses. Oh, wrong way. So we've actually served tens of thousands of companies, ranging from really tiny mom and pop shops, non-profits, bloggers, right up to some of the biggest brands in the world, including many, many e-commerce companies. We've worked with Amazon, eBay, Travelocity, Zappos, Rulala, and many, many other companies. So really, again, wanted to share some of these learnings that we've had. So unless you've been hiding under a rock for the past couple of years, you know that Facebook is extremely important for consumers. It's become a really big part of how consumers spend their time online. But you're possibly still wondering exactly how important is Facebook to you, the marketer? And what I would argue is that Facebook represents as big a change to marketing as Google did earlier in this decade. And I actually think it has the potential to be an even bigger and more important change. And you can see that the data is already starting to support this. Earlier in the year, Facebook actually beat Google in terms of weekly traffic in the United States. And just a couple of months ago, it beat Google in terms of time spent online. So this is, in a very short period of time, Facebook has become a really, really major player online. And you know, we all know that Facebook recently reached 500 million users. I think they're actually already up to 550 million. What's remarkable though, I think, is this growth curve. That you can see here, there's no sign that this growth is ending. They're at 550 million users, and that curve still looks like this. So I think it's a certainty now that within the not too distant future, they'll be at 1 billion users. Frankly, what's even more exciting than that and more amazing is just how engaging, almost addictive, this product is. 50% of those 550 million people log on to Facebook every single day, and they spend almost an hour online. So really, whether you like it or not, this is where your consumers are, and you have to figure out a way to reach them on Facebook. And of course, it is a global phenomenon. So, you know, Facebook started out in the United States, but very quickly, you can see here, this is the percentage of internet users that use Facebook, and we're really seeing very, very high penetration levels across the globe. Gotta get this clicker right. So, you know, another question you may be asking yourselves is, okay, great, everybody's on Facebook, I need to learn how to reach them, but what exactly am I going to get if I market on Facebook? And I think that's a fair question, because actually, Facebook isn't Google. On Google, you can run an ad and you might actually get people, quite a few people, to go and buy your product right away. On Facebook, it doesn't work like that. In fact, I'd say that Facebook is a little more akin to email marketing, where first you've got to build up your audience. Then you've got to build a relationship with them, gain their trust, educate them. Then you can turn them into paying customers. So you've got to be a little more patient with Facebook marketing. What is so powerful though about Facebook marketing relative to email marketing, for example, is this potential for earned media. What do I mean by earned media? What I mean is earned media is that exposure that you get for your brand and for your product and for your service when someone shares information about your brand to others online. So for example, if they post a news feed or they invite their friends on Facebook to participate in something relating to your brand, that's earned media. And that contrasts with paid media, which is online advertising that you pay for to get exposure for your brand, or owned media, which is the assets that your company owns, like your website, for example. And what's so important and so powerful about earned media, well, first of all, it's free. So if a consumer posts a newsfeed about your particular brand and 10 of their friends see that and engage, well, that's free exposure for you. But much more important than that is just the fact that people really trust earned media so much more than these other kinds of exposure that you get for your brand. So Nielsen actually did a study last year that showed that 90% of people will trust a recommendation that comes from somebody they know. So if somebody that I know tells me about your particular brand, 90% of the cases, I'm going to trust that. This contrasts with paid media, where only 33% of people will trust an online advertisement. So really, this earned media is extremely important to getting people who want to engage with your particular business. And this comes down to why it's so important to build up your audience, to build up your fan base on Facebook. This is a great study that just came out recently by DDB that showed that 92% of Facebook fans say that since becoming a fan of a brand, they're really encouraged and pretty likely to spread the word about your brand to their fans. So again, if you can build a relationship with people on Facebook, you can really benefit from this earned media, this very powerful earned media. And you can see here how companies are really benefiting from this. So this is companies or websites and how their traffic has grown since they integrated the like button, the Facebook like button on their website. And the beautiful thing about the like button is if someone comes to your website and they click like, that produces a news feed. Friends of that particular person may see that news feed. Ideally, they click on it. They go to your website, perhaps they like the content as well, their friends see it, and so on and so forth. This is having a very major and pretty immediate benefit for these websites. You see that ABC News had almost 200% increase in traffic since they added the like button. Sporting News had a 500% increase, and sites like the NBA, Facebook is now the #2 source of their traffic. So really, this stuff can be very, very powerful. Traffic is great, right? But we all want to actually sell things. So the other thing that's pretty encouraging came from the same study from DDB that showed that 36% of people say that since becoming a fan of a brand, they're actually more likely to buy from that business. So there really is a real buying behavior that can come from building relationships with consumers on Facebook. So that's the good news. The good news is that there really is meaningful ways that you can benefit from marketing on Facebook. The bad news is it's actually not that easy to successfully market on Facebook. If you think about people who are on Google, they're actually looking to engage with your business. They want to engage with you. They want to buy your product. If you look at why people are on Facebook, they're there to have fun, they're there to hang out with their friends. There's nothing there about wanting to find out about your particular business. So you've really got to try quite a lot harder. You've got to be more creative. You have to be more patient, building a relationship with people, and you have to give people a reason to want to engage with your business. You have to, frankly, give them an incentive. Why should they stop spending time with their friends and want to engage with your business? And the good thing is, if you can do that successfully, people really do actually want to engage with businesses on Facebook. You can see that, on average, people are fans of almost 9 fan pages on Facebook, and 20 million people are becoming fans of fan pages every single day. So if you can get it right, the potential really is there. Which brings me to the meat of the presentation, which is how do you encourage people to want to engage with your brand on Facebook and eventually to become a paying customer? And here I wanted to step you through a few of the things that we've learned along the way from serving so many different companies. And again, when it all boils down to it, it's not that different from newsletter marketing. First, you have to build up your audience. You've actually got someone to talk to. Then you've got to build a relationship with them, feed them information, get them excited about your brand. Then you can start turning them into loyal, paying customers. So I wanted to go through each of these steps, the grow, the engage, and the monetize, and give you some of the things that, some tips, as well as a number of case studies and real life examples. So in terms of growing your audience, frankly, the first place you should start is with your existing audience, with your
newsletter subscribers, with your website visitors. These are people who have already demonstrated an interest in your business, so they're going to be much more likely to want to become a fan and to spread the word to their friends. And that's what you really want. You want to get your initial people becoming fans and then encourage them to spread the word to their friends. As we've learned, if people learn about your business from a friend, they're much more likely to want to engage as well. So one thing that's important and we don't see a lot of companies doing is if you're going to run a campaign on your fan page, let's say you want to run a giveaway, you should run it on your website as well. And our technology actually provides a very easy way for companies to do this, so you can run a campaign simultaneously on your Facebook fan page, also on your website, and we'll integrate that automatically with Facebook Connect, so that when someone's entering your giveaway on your website, you can actually get them to become a fan of your Facebook page as part of the entry form process without ever having them leave your website. So, you know, really a great, easy way to cross-promote without taking people away from your website, which I'm sure you hate to do. So, you know, growing your existing audience, very important. But unless you're Lady Gaga or Apple, just letting your fan base grow organically is not going to cut it. You really are going to have to spend some money on Facebook ads. And as you can see from this slide, 75% of people say that the way that they heard about a particular fan page was through Facebook advertising. And we've spent a lot of time with our customers figuring out how to really optimize Facebook ads, because you've probably heard stories of companies complaining that they haven't got the results from Facebook ads that they hope they get. So I certainly don't have time to give you all the tips. And in fact, we actually just published a blog post of 18 top tips for how to successfully run Facebook ads, and that had real, right down to the nitty-gritty details of what kind of images should you use, what kind of copy. So if you're interested, check that out on our blog. But I do want to highlight 3 things that I think are really important and really powerful. The first of which is you've got to give people a reason to want to click on your ad. Remember, again, that people are on Facebook to hang out with their friends and be entertained. They're not there to look at ads. So unless you give them a good reason to stop what they're doing and click on your ad, they're not going to do it. So again, this comes down to things like deals, offers, contests, promotions, giveaways. You'll find that if you combine those with an ad, you'll really get a much, much better response rate. And in fact, if you really want to grow your fan base and get success with ads, we've found that giveaways are the most powerful thing you can do. And what I mean by that is actually giving something to people for free, which you may think, well, where's the ROI in that? And I wanted to give you one example actually of a campaign we did recently for a company called Edible Arrangements. Not only demonstrates how powerful this word of mouth effect can be on Facebook, but also demonstrates the potential ROI of actually giving things to potential consumers. So Edible Arrangements is it's a gift basket company. They basically create floral baskets, but it's actually fruit that's been cut out to look like flowers. And so they ran a campaign where they actually gave away coupons for chocolate-dipped strawberries to everybody that became a fan. And so they started with, I believe they had about 7,000 fans. They spent less than $10,000 in advertising. You became a fan, and you got a voucher for your free strawberries. The trick was that you had to go into their store to actually redeem and get those chocolate-dipped strawberries. And their goal was to get to 100,000 fans, pretty ambitious goal, in 1 month. Actually, they got there in 2 days. So literally with a little bit of advertising and promoting this out to their 7,000 fans, the word of mouth spread was viral, rampant. Within 2 days, they'd given away all of their free strawberries, and they'd got to 100,000 fans. So after that, we actually put up a coupon for, I think it was $5 off your next purchase. Nevertheless, that word of mouth effect continued. They actually got to 170,000 fans by the end of the week, which was great. Really great, powerful way to build an audience for that company that they can continue marketing to. The great thing though is that we actually heard from the Chief Marketing Officer of Edible Arrangements that they actually had double-digit sales growth in the quarter that they ran that campaign. This was at the height of the recession as a result of driving people into their store to get their free strawberries. So again, you know, you can get real return on investment on these kind of campaigns as well. So giving people a reason to click, very important. This next tip actually comes directly from Facebook themselves. They've done a lot of research, a lot of studying that shows if you drive people right outside of Facebook, you run an ad and take them immediately out of Facebook, you'll get a much, much higher bounce rate than if you take them to somewhere inside of Facebook, like your fan page, for example. And again, I think you've just got to think of the psychology of the person that's clicking on your ad. They were in Facebook, they were kind enough to click on your ad. Now you take them straight outside and put them in your shopping cart. They're going to bounce. That's not what they were planning to do. So again, you've got to really take them somewhere where you can encourage them to become your fan or sign up for your newsletter so you can build a relationship with them. Then you can start selling to them. So really, if you want good results, you don't want high bounce rate, keep people inside of Facebook. And the final piece of advice here, if you're not aware already, Facebook enables you to advertise to friends of your fans. So your ad will only reach people who are friends of your existing fans. So let's say you have 100,000 fans, which you should all be aiming for if you're not there already. And they each have 130 friends, which is typical for Facebook. You can actually reach 13 million friends of your fans. And what's powerful about this is that if I see an ad and some of my friends are fans of that brand, it'll show that they're fans. And again, if I see that someone I know is a fan, in this case of Walmart, I'm much more likely to want to become a fan as well. So you'll find that you get much, much better response rate. In fact, we've found twice as good a response rate if you advertise to friends of your fans rather than just advertising to a general audience on Facebook. So those are the three big tips. The other thing I actually wanted to mention though is that one thing we found about Facebook advertising is it goes stale pretty quickly. You'll find that you get pretty good engagement for the first couple of days, and then people start seeing your ad over and over again, and your click rates will really start to taper off. So if you're going to do it well, you have to really be prepared to change up the copy regularly, change the campaigns regularly, keep it fresh. And again, lots of tips on our blog if you want to read more detail. So the third thing about growing your audience, and frankly, this relates to both growing and engaging your audience, is promotions. It's pretty key to everything you do on Facebook in terms of engaging people. And there have been a number of studies done that ask people, why do you become a fan of a brand? And in every study that I've ever seen, the number one reason is to access deals, special offers. I'll keep going. Special offers and other kinds of promotions. And in terms of what works with promotions, again, we've powered over 70,000 different promotions, so we've really learned a lot about what works. And I certainly don't have time today to tell you everything, but we found that did I do something here? We found that there are three things that are really important, or three things I wanted to highlight to you when you're running promotions. So the first is, now I'm really testing my memory. The first is keep it simple. The harder you make it for someone to engage with your campaign on Facebook, the less likely they are to get through it, and which is pretty clear. So for example, if you're running a sweepstakes, don't ask for any more information in the entry form than you really, really need. The more things you ask for, the more people will drop out. If you're doing some kind of user-generated content campaign, make it really easy for people to enter. So for example, we have a lot of companies that get really excited about the idea of running video contests. And video contests can be really powerful, but understand that you'll get far fewer entries in a video contest than you will from a photo contest, which is just so much easier to enter. And even if you're running a photo contest, you get a lot more entries if you ask people to upload a photo of something that they likely already have in their Facebook album, like vacation pictures or pictures of their children, rather than, let's say you ask them to upload a photo of them holding your product in front of something or other. They've got to get their camera, go out, take a photo of that, and you'll find you have a much lower entry rate, which may be exactly what you want, because maybe you really want that photo of someone holding your product. But if you're looking for a high level of engagement, keep it simple. And again, another example, just to show how simple it can be, but really effective, we ran a campaign for an e-commerce company called Tiny Prints. They're a company that enables you to create wedding invitations, baby birth announcements and things online. And they have a little mascot. It's an elephant, and I guess he doesn't have a name. So they actually ran a contest where people were asked to come up with a name for the little elephant. So really the burden of entry for this campaign was just coming up with a name. But people were really excited to share it because it was fun and unique, and they'd come up with such a great name they wanted to share it with their friends. So we found it was a really short campaign. I think it ran for about 3 days. There were several thousand entries during that time. People shared it with their friends, and they were able to really build up, increase their fan base by several thousand fans just through this really simple, fun, engaging campaign. So simple is my number one piece of advice. The number two was make it social. So really, if you're going to run a promotion, really look for ways to make it social, to make it make sense that people want to spread the word to their friends. So again, let's use a sweepstakes example. You could give away one prize to the winner, but you'll find you get a much better response, much more sharing if you give away two prizes. Let's say one to the winner and one to the person that referred the winner. So again, as an example, we were just running a campaign where we gave away an iPad. We didn't just give one to the winner, we gave one to the person that referred the winner as well. And we found that 60% of people that entered that campaign, and there were tens of thousands of entries, published a news feed. So again, the word of mouth spread that came from that campaign was really powerful and much, much higher than if we'd given away one prize for the winner. Another example would be, why not give away a group prize? So actually give away, let's say, concert tickets to the winner and his or her 4 best friends. And as part of the campaign, ask people to actually name and invite those 4 friends that they'd want to share the prize with if they won. If you're running a coupon, you can make it social by doing things like, the coupon is only tipped or only valid or goes live if you get a certain number of people engaging with the campaign, or the value of the coupon goes up if you get more people engaging with the campaign. So again, really be creative, think about why would someone want to actually share this. And the final tip that I had relating to promotions was really, you'll find you get much better results if you tap into people's interests, things they're passionate about. And again, there's just a matter of thinking about, well, why do people share things on Facebook? And it's usually because, they're sharing something that says something about who they are, or they believe that it's going to be beneficial to you if they share it. So we find that if you tap into things that people are passionate about, like their interests, so upload your favorite surf photo, or upload the cutest baby photo contest, or anything to do with pets, hobbies, do extremely well. We've seen them be incredibly viral. Another thing that works really well is combining your promotions with some kind of charity. So we're running a campaign right now for Shiseido, and every person that engages with that campaign will actually, Shiseido will donate a small amount of money on behalf of that person. So again, you've really got a real reason to want to share the word about that campaign to your friends, because you feel good about it, you feel like you're doing something good. So tapping into people's interests or combining with charity is a really great way to enhance the power of running promotions. All right. That's great. Okay, so those were sort of my 3 tips for how you grow your audience. Now, how do you engage them? This is really important. We find a lot of companies will spend a lot of time and money thinking about doing a big campaign to grow their fans, and then they won't have a good plan for how they're going to continue to engage them afterwards. And that's the key to it all, is building this relationship. And at the heart and soul of engaging your fans is the news feed. And I think the important thing to know about the news feed, you probably know this already, but not everything gets pushed out to people via the news feed. Facebook controls how many people will actually see the content that you push out. So for example, if you have 50,000 fans and you push out content that Facebook deems to not be particularly interesting to those fans, only a small percentage of them will actually see that. So the real trick is you've got to be pushing out content that the Facebook algorithm believes is really engaging, and then Facebook will let many, many more people, more and more of your fans actually see that. And while No one actually knows exactly how the Facebook algorithm works. One thing we do know is that if you can get people to actually comment on your news feeds or like it, you'll find that Facebook will then deem that to be much more engaging, much more interesting. It'll get pushed out to many more people. So the question, of course, is how do you get people to comment on your news feeds, and how do you get them to like your news feeds? And the answer to that is you've really got to give them a reason why they would want to comment. And to do that, we find that asking questions is really important and really powerful. So this example on the left here is actually, we pushed out a newsfeed to people to let them know about a sweepstakes we were running where you could win your dream tailgate party. And if you're not American, you probably don't know what a tailgate party is. It's actually a party that you will hold when you're watching a football game. You'll park your car in the parking lot of the football game and you'll grill up a barbecue right there in the grounds of the game, and that's called a tailgate party, I believe. I'm actually from New Zealand. So we pushed out this news feed saying, hey, here's this awesome contest that we're running where you can win your dream tailgate party. And we got a few comments, I don't know, people sort of saying, oh, that's cool, but really very, very few. So then we pushed out this news feed again a little later, and we didn't just tell them about this great contest. We said, hey, what kind of food would you serve at your dream tailgate party? And suddenly we got all these people. I think we ended up with about 50 comments. Easy to answer. People just said, oh, I would serve lobster, and I would serve sausages, and someone said they would serve Tom Brady, which is a really cute American football player, so there's a bit of humor in there as well. So, you know, this was, again, we gave people a reason why they'd want to actually comment on this post. And what's important is don't just ask questions, but ask questions that can be answered really easily. So questions that could be answered with a yes, no, or with just a few words like we had here. So that's one of the tricks for getting people to comment on your news feeds. How do you get people to like them? Well, we've actually found the easiest way to do that is to just ask them to like your news feed. So again, here at the bottom we pushed out a video. We pushed it out and said, hey, here's a video, take a look. We got 2 people liking that. Then the next story we pushed out was a video, and we said, hey, take a look at this video. If you enjoy watching it, click the like button. We got 15 more people liking that than we had with the previous post. And we found that this replicates consistently. If you actually ask people to like your posts, you'll find that they really do. So it's sort of as simple as telling people what you want them to do. And the final thing I wanted to tell you about the newsfeed is, based on our observations, it really seems that quality is much more important than quantity. So you could think that, you know, just let's push out lots of content to your fans, and you know, one of those posts will be really engaging, it'll get lots of exposure, and the rest will just sort of get forgotten. But what we can observe, it seems that Facebook will actually take the aggregate of all the content that you're posting and give that some kind of weighting, so that if you're sending out a lot of stuff that's really not engaging, and then you send something that is engaging, it appears that that will actually get penalized. And the reverse happens as well. If you send out something that's really, really engaging, it seems to have a beneficial effect to the other posts that you send out. So, you can see here, this was a page that had about 10,000 fans at the time that this screenshot was taken. And we would typically get about 5,000 or 6,000 impressions when we posted something to these 10,000 fans. So I only put the last post of 6,000, but if you could see all the other posts, it was usually pretty consistently between about 4,000 to 6,000 impressions. And we'd usually get about 20 comments on those posts. That was a good post. Then we happened to post a story that just was incredibly engaging. We got 125 people commenting on it, so 6 times more comments than we would usually get. And you can see the effect that it had on the number of impressions. We actually got 30,000 impressions for that particular newsfeed. We only had 10,000 fans, so clearly that was getting spread from our friends and into their, from our fans into their friends' newsfeed. But what was especially interesting was the next post that we sent out actually wasn't particularly engaging. We had about 14 people commenting on it, but you can see that we still got dramatically more impressions than we had previously, and that's actually continued, where we had that one post that really lifted really engaged people, and since then all of our posts have got way more impressions than we had previously. So really think carefully about everything you're posting out and think, will this be engaging? Will I get people to really like it and comment on it? And if not, maybe you don't want to post it. So the newsfeed is really your center for engaging people, but the other thing that you've got to do is change up your content. If you're not putting new, fresh content on your fan page regularly, well, why would people want to go back to your fan page? And in terms of what people are looking for, well, fortunately there's been some good surveys that have asked, you know, what are you really looking for on a fan page? And in order of importance, people are looking for deals, they're looking for entertainment, and they're looking for exclusivity. So on the deals front, you know, that's anything from a coupon to some type of special offer or even advance notice of a new product. People really look for that, and I'll give you some very specific examples, some specific advice about deals in a minute. The next one is entertainment. So this is things like games, contests, quizzes, anything that can really be fun and entertaining to consumers. And in case you're thinking, well, okay, great, but what's that really going to do for me? I wanted to share one interesting study that came out from Razorfish last year. It was asking specifically about contests. So people that enter contests, that enter to win. You might think those are not really the kind of customers that you want, right? Because they're just entering to win. Well, actually, the study showed that over 95% of people that enter contests say that they're either likely or much more likely to buy from that brand as a result of entering the contest than not entering it. So this stuff can be really, really powerful. I wanted to highlight this one campaign here that we did for Gatorade because I think it's a great example of how you can benefit from the social effect of Facebook and run a really powerful lead generation campaign. So this campaign was actually to celebrate the induction of Michael Jordan into the Basketball Hall of Fame. And so what we did, there was two parts to the campaign. First part is you had to vote on what you thought was Michael Jordan's sort of crowning achievement in his career, his best moment. And we had 10 sports journalists put together 10 different moments, and you had to vote for what you thought was the most important in his career. And obviously, this was something that people got really excited about, that they shared a lot of, they commented, because they all had sort of these passionate feelings about what Michael Jordan's best moment was. So that was great for sharing, great for getting the brand out there, the Gatorade brand out in Facebook. But what we then did is after people had voted, we popped them into a sweepstakes entry form where they had the chance to win a trip to the induction ceremony. So in this way, Gatorade was able to get lots of contact information for people. They were able to get people to sign up for their newsletter. They were able to get people to become fans. So a great way of combining sort of that fun element with a lead gen campaign. And the final thing that people are really looking for in terms of content is exclusivity. They want to feel special, that they're your fan. And so the sort of things that they're looking for is video content that only fans can access, perhaps music that they can access, even advance notice of events. So this is an example of a campaign we're running for Ryan Seacrest. He's the host of American Idol in the United States. And if you became a fan of his page, you could actually access a video clip of Justin Bieber. So, you know, if you have any relationships with musicians and can get advance access to videos or clips, that's really effective. Not everyone has that sort of power, of course. So that's, you know, content, providing fresh content, providing people with what they want. You really need to do that if you want to keep them engaged, if you want to keep them coming back. And that gets me to the final point, which is, okay, You've grown your fans, you've engaged them, you've built a relationship. Now how are you actually going to monetize them? How do you encourage them to buy more? And again, you could put a shopping cart onto your fan page, and lots of companies have done that. In our experience, we haven't seen incredibly good results from this. And I think, again, because you need to think about why people are on Facebook and try to give them some kind of experience that's consistent with that. So if you can turn the shopping process into something that's fun and something that's social and something that's a little different, you'll find that you get much better results. So for example, we ran a campaign for a company called Outlook. They're a private sales company, a little bit like Rulala, which I know is really big here in Europe. and they ran a coupon campaign. But they gave it a real twist, and as a result, not only got tons of sharing, but they got fantastic return on investment with this campaign. So the concept was that you had to become a fan first, and then after you became a fan, you found out what value coupon you'd get. And it could have been anything from free shipping to $10 off your next purchase, to, if you're really lucky, you got $100 or $200 off your next purchase. It was a really limited time campaign. It only lasted for 1 day, and the results were pretty great. It resulted in 5 times ROI for the company in terms of direct sales resulting from this campaign. And what was particularly exciting was that it really generated a lot of new customers for the company. So 20% of the people that made a purchase as a result of this campaign were actually first-time buyers for Outlook, and almost 20%, I believe it was 19%, were what Outlook called dormant customers or dead customers, customers that had not made a purchase in such a long time that they thought they'd lost them. So again, you take a simple coupon campaign, turn it into something fun. People really shared this like crazy because it was unique and resulted in real tangible sales for this company. The next trick is to make it really time limited. If the campaign's going to go for a limited amount of time, people feel some urgency. They feel like they really need to spread the word to their friends soon, otherwise their friends will miss out. So this was a campaign we did for AMC, which is a cinema chain in the US, and they were finding that they weren't getting enough people into the cinema on Sundays. So this campaign was literally to get $1, you could get popcorn or a drink for $1, but only this coming Sunday. So we actually ran the campaign for 48 hours at the beginning of the week. You could redeem it at the end of the week on Sunday. So again, there was this sort of this sense of urgency and excitement, and you needed to let your friends know about it. They had a pretty small ad buy actually, and they got to almost 200,000 coupon downloads in that 48-hour period. So again, really, really powerful campaign for this company. And the final example I wanted to give is, find a way to make the buying process social. So we actually provide a really simple way using our technology for companies to run their own Groupon-like campaign, so their own group deal. Where basically, in this case, for example, it was with the W Hotels. They were giving, it was almost 60% off their normal room rate, but they were controlling the dates for that particular, when you could redeem it. So for them, they knew it was low season anyway, it didn't cost them too much. But the trick was you had to get a certain number of people buying into that deal before it would actually go live, before it would be unlocked. So there's a huge reason for people to really spread the word about that campaign and get it out to their friends. So again, much more reason to share than if you just have, if W Hotels just had a reservation thing on their fan page, they could do well, but it's not going to really create sharing. It's not going to really take advantage of what Facebook's all about. And with that, I'm at the end of my presentation. If there's time, I'd be more than happy to take questions.
Victoria, el turno de preguntas, solo 2 me dicen, tenemos tiempo para 2 preguntas. Aquí, por favor.
Sí, enhorabuena por la charla, Victoria. Es evidente el éxito de Facebook cuando vamos a un mercado B2C, pero me gustaría que contases, por favor, alguna experiencia de Facebook en mercados B2B.
Right, yes. I get this question a lot. So, I would say, to be honest, I think Facebook can work for all kinds of businesses, B2C and B2B. I would say that it's a more natural fit for B2C businesses. I think where it fits really, really well for B2B is when you're trying to reach a large, dispersed audience. For example, if you're serving lots of small businesses, SMBs, I think Facebook can be really, really powerful. So an example that I can think of is a company called Odesk, which really provides services. If you want to access, find a developer or a designer or some kind of short-term labor you can use Odesk to source those people. So it's used by lots of startups and lots of small businesses. So they've used us, for example, to run an ongoing campaign where businesses, they have a sort of a website of the week or a website of the month campaign where you can upload information about your particular website and others can come in and vote and really engage around that. So that's been a great way for them to get people to become fans of their page so they can continue to message these businesses, to get them to get a sense of community around this idea that, you know, we're here for your startup, we're here for your business. And it's been a great way to really get businesses to spread the word to other businesses, because if I upload my particular business into that campaign, into the Startup of the Week campaign, I'm going to go out and get all of my friends and everybody I know to try to vote for me. So a great way to really spread the word. So I think, you know, at its heart, is email marketing important? Is newsletter marketing important for a B2B company? I think it absolutely is. It's about building your audience, engaging them, and keeping them informed. And I think Facebook can be exactly the same thing, but I would argue that it's going to be more beneficial to you if you have a sort of a large dispersed audience. If you're a company, you sell piping to other manufacturers and there's only, you know, 50 companies that you sell to, well, you already know who your consumer is. I think it's not so useful to you then. So, does that help?
Thanks.
Tenemos tiempo para otra pregunta. Si me permitís, aquí en esta zona ahora. Lo siento.
Hi, Victoria.
Hi.
What a truly wonderful presentation. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
I'm struck that a lot of the recommendations that you give are like pure direct marketing, shared incentives, advanced notice, virtually everything that you've said in the last 15 minutes, which I think is wonderful, really sounds like some of the techniques that were pioneered by direct marketing decades ago are really working very well in Facebook marketing. Would you like to comment on that?
Yeah, I think that's right. I mean, the things that we're really helping customers to do, it's nothing new. It's contests, it's coupons, it's giveaways, it's quizzes, it's surveys, it's things that have been around for a while. So I think, you know, customer psychology hasn't changed. The reasons why customers really want to engage with your business haven't changed. I think the trick is there's now more power to these kind of marketing techniques. So in the past where you might have just run a sweepstakes and you got an entry and that's it. Now you can actually get an entry and have someone spread the word to many of their friends. So I think the trick is to take those forms of marketing that have worked in the past and actually encourage and find creative ways to get people to spread the word. Because again, coming back to this earned media, that's what's so powerful about Facebook. If you can build a relationship with a consumer, get them to be loyal to your business, and then get them to spread the word to their friends, well, you've just reached a whole new set of people that you wouldn't have been able to reach through more traditional marketing channels.
¿Me permiten una última pregunta más? Creo que por aquella zona tenían.
Felicitaciones también por la conferencia. Mi pregunta era, a mí me da un poco de miedo la venta, montar un comercio electrónico y venta en casa de otro señor, que es el señor Facebook. ¿Qué peligro hay y hasta qué punto estamos supeditados a lo que él decida mañana? ¿Nos cambia las aplicaciones de golpe y porrazo? Si yo monto una tienda dentro de Facebook y vendo desde Facebook, corro el peligro que mañana me cierre el chiringuito, ¿no? La tienda, perdón.
So it's a really good point, to be honest, and I think that is one of the risks of building on top of a platform. It's something that my company faces all the time too, that Facebook decides to change something about the way they run their product, and we need to adapt, and you really don't have a whole lot of control over that. The same goes for, you know, one of the reasons why we're able to serve our customers so well. Sometimes we'll have companies that will say, oh, we don't need to use Wildfire, we'll go and build our own contest, let's say, and we'll say, great, go and do that, but be aware that every Tuesday Facebook changes their code, and it might change the way your contest works, and you're going to need to be on top of that and fixing that and making adaptations. Obviously, it's our business, so we're going to be on top of that. So, yes, that's a reasonable risk, but I would say that Facebook really wants to encourage someone like you. You are very well aligned with their interests of really getting people to buy and engage on Facebook. So I think if you're building on a platform, that's always a risk. But I think as long as what you're doing is well aligned with Facebook's goals, and Facebook's goals are really to make consumers happy, to engage to provide good content and ultimately to make money, then I think you're probably okay. So when it all boils down to it, I think you're absolutely fine, but it's something to keep in mind because you will need to apply to whatever rules Facebook has, and they change the rules of their platform fairly regularly.
Nada más, gracias a todos por vuestras preguntas. Victoria, I'm sorry for the technical problem, and thank you very much for your video presentation. Thank you.
Thank you very much.